Alright, so we're going back to regular training. If I pass, I never pass without an underhook, or in one case, for the honor. The only time I don't pass with an underhook, because I cannot get it underhook, I will grab the head, okay, like doing a cradle. That's the only time I'm not using the underhook. If you don't use the underhook, you're screwed. What do you think happened most of the times when you missed your underhook? If I'm getting an underhook, what do normal persons do? No, they're not normal. Retarded. Okay? They do an overhook. This is bad. Okay? Because if he makes an overhook, it's easy for me to start turning him into the back. That's why we don't want overhooks. That said, there is of course situations where overhook is good for the rubber guard and everything. But if people are passing, an overhook is not good. If you're not very high up, for example, like I'm passing here, this is good with an overhook, okay? But not many people go there from the start. So never take an overhook, okay? I always fight for the underhook. This is my way of thinking, and it's not correct in any way, but I think it can help a lot of people to get the right timing and getting the reversals, all right? So I do this easy because a lot of people think, if he's passing on this side, for example, I get an he gets an underhook, and I get an underhook on this side. This is no good either. Because when I go here and he starts to smash me, okay, maybe I have the hook inside, maybe I can go fast up and do this, but it's not everyone who can do that. You have to have a lot of experience to do these movements, okay? So that's why I'm saying that, of course, overhook is legit if you know what you're doing. But most people doesn't know when it's time to do an overhook. It's just a desperation, all right? If I'm getting an underhook and the person, if I'm here, if I'm passing now, okay, if I'm passing, I have already isolated this arm. This arm is mine. So this is bad. How can he get the arm inside now? In front of my face? It's not gonna happen. In front of my face? Okay. I'm gonna go like this directly, and then we start going here and so on. That's why the desperation of doing the overhook normally just put you in a trap. All right? So, if the person is passing on this side, the underhook has to be on this side, okay? Not on this side. If he's passing and I'm trying to get an underhook on this side, he's passing on this side, this underhook doesn't give me anything. It's like basic thing. You have to understand where the underhook is going to be when they're passing. So, like normally when I'm sitting like this, when you see me rolling, I'm not dead center. I never am dead center. I'm always in one side because I want to make them go in a certain way. It's easy for me to do this way and go to the opposite way. In the same way I'm doing like this, okay? My underhook is always ready. If they go to the opposite side, my underhook is always ready. That said, if the partner is standing up or he comes down on a knee, doesn't matter. I will never go high underhook if they are standing. This is dangerous, okay? It doesn't give me anything. I will do a visible underhook. Okay? Invisible underhook, because still it's underhook for me. It's really hard for them to turn inside and get an underhook. They can do that if you're not moving correctly. Alright? So, if he goes to this side, I'm always going to be like this. That's why also I never start like this. Even if there's people who can do the leg lock games and incredible, they do it from there. But for me, it's like, it's okay for me to go down like this, but that's the second part I do. I want to be sitting up. Because it's hard to pass if someone is up all the time. Okay? And you're gonna make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, a lot of mistakes. But if he's always looking for the underhook, okay? So you see, I'm even like giving my leg away this way, so I want them to pass on this side. But if they refuse, fine, I go to the opposite side. Okay? And I'm always a little bit in the front. And this is also, if you're a fat bastard, maybe you have to figure out how you can lean a little bit in front. Because I'm always giving away my leg here. So sometimes they try to grab it, all right? And I fall back. But in this case, I'm pretty far out. I'm here, controlling everything, making him do the mistakes, okay? Going up to the head and then go for the leg. But my main goal all the time is to get the underhook, all the time. That applies the same for me passing. And the problem for me is that a lot of people here is good on doing the leg hook, okay? Is that, let's say, even if I come in like this, he doesn't have an underhook. He's here. I'm not passing here before I get an underhook. I can try to go over his head like this, but the problem is now that a lot of people are good in turtle, so he's going to start turning against me and coming up on turtle. It's very hard for me to control a person because I'm going over the head. Make sense? I'm going over the head. So I never pass. If I'm here, like this, they have a good knee shield. If I don't have an underhook, they have a good frame. If I start to slide, I'm going to lose it. This is what happens all the time when I roll. I never give the underhook away. Never. And I'm going to show you when I'm not getting the underhook as I want, but I'm not giving the way the underhook for them to pass. Make sense? So we're just going to do a small drill. When I'm here and I'm going to the side, I want you to have this hand in the front. I mean, you don't have to like look for getting, but you have to have this in the front. If I go to the other side, you do the opposite, okay? So I'm always prepared for going with the underhook. If I drop, he gets an underhook. If he gets an underhook here, I'm done. I know. I cannot continue passing here. Because if I start driving, he's going to be able, and I have to do a lot of scrambling to get out. So I never pass if I don't have a good underhook or a cradle or something that I can control. Make sense? So we're just going to go from side to side, doing like this, okay? If he's passing on this side, underhook that side. Just to get inside of the head. Passing this side, underhook this side. That's it, okay? It's not more complicated than that. They pass, I go to the opposite side. All the time, okay? Even if I'm like this, I will go, okay? 1, 2. All right. I see a lot of you now, you're sitting like this. If someone grabs my legs, it's so far away, it's super hard for me to control. I'm gonna fall back. It's not the end of the world, but why would I give him my first line of defense? That would be crazy, right? You need to be, it doesn't matter if you have a big belly, okay? You just have to angle up a little bit, okay? You don't have to be, I'm like this. Because if they push my head, look, I'm very strong here. If I'm starting to be like this, my legs comes up very easily. I need to be leaning forward. And don't care about, I don't want to be straight, okay? I can be like this. It doesn't matter. But my goal, if I'm here, I'm playing, for example, we are working, okay? I'm trying to get the hold of the leg. Most of the time, when they feel I'm getting the leg, they step in. Fine, that's what I want. Or I be able to grab the leg, okay, and I go, and then I start attacking, right? But you cannot be like this. You have to be in front. So if they're strong, I will be able to, I feel very strong here because my angle. I have to watch my neck though, so they don't go guillotine, okay? And at the same time, if they grab my leg, it's easy for me to keep it down. Or if it's coming to grab my leg, I'm out. But they cannot do easy, get me on the back. Because that's what they want. They feel worried about passing when I'm sitting up. Because it's way easier for them to pass when I'm down than I'm sitting up. I'm smaller, okay? They need to get my legs away. My legs is here, okay? Try again. 1, 2. Don't get crazy. The more you start to go out, you expose yourself, you expose your neck, you expose your legs and everything. I always try to keep it in my reach. Sometimes I launch, okay, but it's only when I feel like I have something good. But I'm not going batshit crazy trying to. I'm still going to be, and most important for us here also is to have hand control, okay? I always want to have, I'm always going to grip, and I grip like this, okay? On the outside, and my 4 fingers are grabbing the thumb, and I push them down like this, okay? And we're going to have a fight. You rarely see me grabbing like this because it's too easy to get out. I'm out, okay? But if I grab like this, they're going to go out sooner or later, but it's much harder. That's why I'm always doing the wing of death, okay? But what happens sometimes is that you screw up. So he passes this leg to this side. Boom. This is very bad. And most of the people here now is going to freak out and fall back. If they fall back, I'm exposed. Okay? Some people are really slick doing this pass. They walk first to the opposite side and then just shoot. Okay? When this happens, I have 2 things I do. If it's way too late, okay, if it's way too late, I'm going to turn and go to turtle. That's my game. It doesn't have to be your games. But when I screw up completely and my timing is way off, I go turtle because I feel confident there. But if they do this, they will have control. If they can control my hands in the same time, okay, that will be perfect for them. But it's really hard, okay? If I'm here, whenever they step, I go on the backside. I'm going to turn with them. Getting me a what?
Underhook.
Invisible underhook.
Yeah, baby. Invisible underhook. I don't care if they pass it this way. I want to turn against them. The only time, as I said, when and this happens to me, of course, they go and I like, no. Then I turn the opposite way to go to turtle. I will never just fall down. If you fall down, they pass you. That's a guarantee. Because for you to come back from that is bad. So you're just going to train now. If you sit down. Yes, like this. You go on one side. You can control the hands and everything. All right. You walk and then you go, boom, straight over. And the other person turn around as quick as possible. Okay? Make sense? So, all right, that's it. Some of you are turning, you're here, they pass, and then you let your elbow go down and you go like this. The problem is the knee has passed you. So if the person, if I'm here, if he turns the knee the opposite way, I'm going to have a knee and belly. So I don't have time to like go down. So when I'm here, when they go, I go. You see, I'm already on my knees. Now I'm not going to show you the leg hook game by itself. You're going to have to buy it at grapplinginstructions.com later on. Like $699. All right? But if you buy 2, you get a private lessons also. All right? So you need to scoot your butt. Don't be such a heavy. I mean, even if you're a heavy butt, directly when this happens, boom, boom, I'm going. I'm here. There's no turning back now for him. All right? I'm not going in super detail now. Don't care about it. But don't stay here, because the leg is so strong. They're going to turn and push you back. Okay, and knee on belly. Even with the hand out there, it's not in the end of the world, but you put yourself in a bad spot. Make sense? All right, 1, 2. So whatever I do, doesn't matter. They need to pass and use somewhere, okay? Even if whatever happens, we can take a pretty common situation where we are in like knee shield, okay? We are knee shield like this, okay? I'm here. Maybe I'm not able to come up and get my underhook. This is my favorite technique of them all, okay? Being here, controlling, and then I switch, boom, and I go high up, okay? Sometimes I'm not able to do this. It's very hard. He may be already starting smashing me and everything, okay? This is very common, okay? I'm gonna use my elbow. But whenever here, I'm not afraid of him passing this way because I have a good frame. I can control this arm, all right? But for him to do a good pass, it will be to get an underhook on me with his right arm. So he's underhooking me. If this happens, this is what people do. Okay, you're happy with this, and you put an underhook in. Now you're gonna be in a deep shit. Even me that is quite flexible, his head is gonna be closing the gap and pushing me back, and then I'm gonna keep my legs here, making everything, I make it as hard as I can for him to pass, but I'm in a bad spot. This is all because I gave him the underhook, and I was happy with an overhook. This is 90% of you here doing this. Okay, they get an underhook, I do an overhook. You lost it. So if I'm here, for example, we say he starts to smash me really bad, okay? I'm gonna hide my arm inside all the time. Even if I'm not able to have a good frame, in this case, I could easily have a good frame. This is keeping him away. But for example, he's smashing this down, okay? I'm gonna have it in front of me so he doesn't get an underhook. Okay, I don't want him to get an underhook. This other leg is blocking him from passing on the other side, so I want him to go this. When he starts to pass, if he doesn't have a underhook control, I'm gonna keep this hand inside all the time. He continue passing me, whatever happens, I'm gonna be here, continue passing. Okay, now my underhook is there. It's still legit. I'm letting him passing all my space here. He can keep his body weight on top. But I know when we have a little bit of distance, it's super hard for me to get an underhook. Even if I get an underhook, my elbow is exposed for an overhook. And he can do like an Americano on me. That's very bad. So I'm not even putting it there. His knees are so far down, I'm not able to reach them anyway. So I keep this tucked under. Whenever the person is going to pass, he needs to advance his position on top of me. When I feel this arm is going to come out. When I have an underhook, now he's going to have a lot of problems. Okay? So we're just going to simulate this as a drill. Okay? We have a knee shield like this. He's there. He can connect whatever. If he wants to connect like this, it's fine. Okay? But whenever they start to sprawl back, coming on top of me, okay, I'm going to keep this arm inside. He's going to continue, whatever he goes, it doesn't matter. He can go that way. All right? Look now. My arm is here. Now I'm going to do, and now I have an underhook. And I do a deep underhook. He has not many choices now. What do you want to do?
Back.
He wants to go back. But if he goes back, I'm going to follow him. He goes back, I go back. Make sense? This is how the underhook is so important. Okay, because if he starts passing, he's going to slide with my underhook. Okay? If there will be any kind of, for example, now he's a little bit high, okay? If he goes down, he started passing, whatever he does, okay, he's passing. If he wants to continue now, first of all, I don't want him to control the head, but it's not the end of the world, okay? And I'm out. If you learn this move, you will better your game with 30% like this in one day. 100% sure you do that. But it's very hard, okay? Because people freak out and start overhooking. Overhooking gives him everything. If I start overhooking, don't get me wrong, he can still have to work a lot to pass my guard. But since I'm overhooking, he can flatten me out easily because of the overhook. With the overhook here, he can push my back to the mat. But if I'm on the side and never let him, sometimes even when they're like high up, like om du ställer lite, kom in med knät bara. I'm hiding my arm because I know he wants an underhook. If I give him an underhook and he comes here, I'm done. I have no hurry to do that. If I feel like I can move a little bit in front, but the guy still has the knee up a little bit, okay? I'm here. I can do from here to invisible underhook. This is also my favorite. Because if they have a high knee, if I go super high up, he can point the knee on the opposite direction, and then this happens a lot also. I only use super high when I can clinch tight with them with not having when they have the knee above the ground. Because if they can do like this, they can mount you. So that's why I sometimes feel like my underhook, no, I go invisible underhook and I go for the leg instead. Make sense? Okay, so we're just gonna do like this. We're here, he's starting to smash me. You can let him pass, he's gonna pass on this side. I'm using my leg, look at my leg, to open up a little bit, and I feed, and I go super deep. I don't want to be here because if I'm low like this, he can overhook, and then look at my neck. I don't want to be on the side here forever. When I'm coming here, I'm always on my way out. I always want to be perpendicular to the person. All right? Once again. So what you do here, the person on top, not really important. Let them pass. Just keep your elbow tucked in. And when you feel they're coming, I'm using this leg to open up a little bit, like in Fonda. Okay? Not many people here is too young, maybe. All right, I go, and so I'm here. He's smashing me, passing, and then an uppercut. Boom. The thing is that directly when people get an underhook, what do? When they start to feel like you get an underhook, they're going to try to
Get it back.
That helps us for the movement. This is the secret. This is the magic secret for this, all right? The thing is that when a person on top notices that, oh shit, they're getting an underhook, they're going to try to do an overhook. This helps me because I'm going to let my shoulder be, I'm never going to be halfway deep because that's too dangerous. I'm always going to try to plant my shoulder in the armpit. That will be the best. But when they do like this, it's going to help me move away. All right? So let the person now pass, okay? And remember, I never go and be, so even if he puts his head in, try to push me back and be, I never go flat like this. This is bad. I'm always going to stay on the side. So when they start passing, okay, he starts passing. When I'm getting the underhook, he's going to freak out and it's going to help me coming up because he has a little bit of posture. Posture. Nobody's going to fall like, all right? Maybe a drunk. But directly when I feel it, I'm doing like a Superman, I'm going super deep. And I'm going to feel when they're going to try to get it back because that's the only thing that's going to save them. All right? They're going to try to get an overhook. And when we do this fast, you can notice that when I'm moving, I'm not turning against them because they're heavy. I'm turning away from them. If I'm going against them, if it's a fat bastard, like now, someone, they can smash you. So I'm going away from them. You always have to think that your partner is bigger and stronger, even if they're from Spain, okay? All right, so he's passing, boom, I'm here. Make sense? So the person try to get an overhook. That helps us, and I move away, okay? I'm not going against. I never go against. I go away. I'm going away. 1, 2. When I'm getting flat out, the same thing here. I'm never going to let him go. But for any reason, he started to pass and flat me out at the same time. He's flattening me out, okay? I'm going to, when he starts turning for passing, I'm going to start turning. And now my elbow is free, okay? But I cannot stay here for a long time. I need to go perpendicular. I need to be, my head is always in a risk. Okay, it's always a risk to have the head because they can grab your head. But most of the time when people are trying to do it fast, you do the same thing in a fast motion. All right, let's prepare for trap. So guys, if you didn't download the Lotus Lockdown ebook yet, please do. It's totally free and it has a lot of information. Please download it. I promise you're gonna love it. Bomboclat!